Hello, everyone. My name is Joe Bosques. I am. This is part 2 of our new series on Divesoft TV. Today, we're going to be talking about role models in technical diving, and I have my guest. You may have recognized her from her dive talks, Beatrice Rivoira, who's joining us today.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you again, Joe.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have you back on, and so it's so good to see you after. It's crazy how it's been a year.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, it's what a ride it's been. You know, we all thought that this would be quick and would kind of pass over quickly, but we're still going on. But like you said, it's a little ray of sunshine this weekend, maybe.
We hope so. And, we all want to get back underwater and get back to traveling, attending dive shows, having fun with friends and colleagues and all the things that are coming with that. So I just think we'll still need to get a little bit of patience, and then we'll just crack on. So
right. Exactly. And so it's so important to being patient. And so that's why kind of on this video series, I wanted to focus on role models, because we all find ourselves, especially as industry professionals, diving leaders, and people that influence students and whatnot, we do have a responsibility to be a good role model. And maybe we may not agree with everything, but it's important for us to do what's necessary for kind of the big picture, right?
We do. It's right. The thing is that as soon as you start going towards the instructor paths or dive master or whatever, and then you just keep going, but you start to become a role model for the people that are around you. So everything you do is going to be looked at and analyzed and scrutinized sometimes. So you need to be careful about what you do in a good way.
Right.
So like as we said, walk the talk.
Exactly. And, it's not only what people say online or kind of, in the public's eye, but you have to practice that too. And you're diving even when no one's watching. So.
Yeah, it's true. And this also means that you need to respect your limits and be honest about them. So just try to be, we're talking about professionals, but what I would prefer to say is just about being serious about what you do. So taking care about what you do and attending it with the right attitude.
Right. Exactly. And so it's the attitude is everything, it's especially being patient and doing things, maybe it's extra work, but you take the long way just because that's the right way. So.
It is. And in the end, it pays off. So you just need to take your time. We're rushing so many aspects of life right now. So if there's something where we can really take our time and go slowly and do everything that we need to do, especially when our life is on the line, because that's what happens when we're underwater. So there is no meaning in rushing anything.
Right, exactly. And so, and kind of diving into that, something about you is that you do this, full time. You've worked or you work in the diving industry in scuba, and kind of you've turned, like I said earlier, is that you've turned your passion into your profession. Mm-hmm. But that's, it's not a very normal path. It's not very typical for you're like I always joke, your average Joe. And so so how did you kind of start by choosing a very non-traditional path in your life?
I guess everyone that does this as a profession will have slightly different paths, but the main thing will be that we're all, as you say, passionate about what we are doing. We are curious and we want to bring it like a further step. Right. So what happened, basically, I started diving because I just love the sea, love the animals, and my father was a diver. So that, of course, was something that was pushing me to try it. And my brother started diving as well. And I, as the younger sister, I just wanted to do everything that my brother was doing. So I just started diving as well, and then I got caught. So they stopped at some point, and I just kept going. Mm-hmm. And I started doing in every spare, as soon as I had some spare time, I was doing it. And that soon became something that I started to do every weekend.
Right.
And then during the summer at the diving center. And after that, it was just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And then I had a side job for a while. But then it was, this is not for me. I just want to do this every day of my life, and decided to try.
And, that's really good, because sometimes we have a lot of pressure from kind of the outside, like I said, non-traditional path. And, it's those days are tough, especially working in the shop, filling tanks, running around teaching. It's a lot of work, and to be able to kind of continue with it, I think is really inspirational in that, because a lot of folks will be like, well, I'm going to slow down, or I'm only going to go to this level, versus, folks like that we have on this series, they just push going, they keep going.
That's true, and I'm sorry because my headphones just got disconnected from the, from the laptop right now. So I'm just trying to put back in. Okay, here we go.
Perfect.
And working at the diving center is a huge amount of work. Mm-hmm. And you just get up really early in the morning, and you go to sleep where you basically faint on the bed. You reach the point where you need to decide, do I want to have dinner or do I want to have a shower? Because I don't have the energy to do both.
I eat in the shower.
Yeah, exactly. But it's something that I would recommend doing for a while. I mean, it's been a huge, like a learning process. Right. Because when you work in that kind of environment and you have to deal every day with different people, different kind of problems, different environments.
Yeah.
It's just a huge experience that you get from there.
Right. And that's something that I like to talk a lot about, is that when I used to teach diving at the university, it was just like, this isn't just a simple scuba class. Like, you're learning kind of almost life lessons in the dive shop, because there's so many personalities. You're working on very technical equipment, and then you have basic things. You have people getting over fears, especially if you start teaching. It's you learn it's a lot of communication skills that you have to develop over time. And it's I always like sharing stories of, people see the good days, but I like to talk about the bad days, because you that's when you really learn. That's where you get the real experience, right?
It's true. And the nice thing is that while working at this kind of diving center, you get, instead of getting all the bad things all together in one go, you learn a little bit every day. Mm-hmm. So you learn this and this and this and this and this and this. So when the big things happen,
you're ready.
It's not like zero or everything. You had the time to build up the experience to deal with different problems and different people. And it also gives you this kind of wide range of examples and kind of reactions, and how people deal with things, and how you can deal with people with different things. Because every one of us is different. So what may works for you may not work for me or the other guy. And so it's just this huge range of experience that you can get. And for me was something really, really important. I then left that kind of work. I mean, I'm not doing the whole season in a diving center anymore, but sometimes I miss it.
I know. I love the chaos of it, because it's and I don't know if I'm unique to that, but it that's still, like you said, like in the dive center, it's still kind of like the basic recreational diving, and then technical diving is it's different. You still have people getting over fears and whatnot, but it's a certain personality of people that you're dealing with, especially if you're teaching and whatnot.
It's true. And for an instructor, I think it's a really important step to go through. Many times you got that somebody who follows the path to become an instructor, and they ask you for a certain number of dives, and so you can take your IDC, and then you may follow someone doing some classes, but your experience will still be limited sometimes to that kind of teaching or that kind of environment. Right. While working in a center will just bring you to face different kind of people and experience and everything. And if you can also change center, so you have experience in this area and then this area with people from your country or people from other countries.
Oh yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah.
So as Italians, underwater we use many signs that sometimes are not really classic because we use them in our everyday life. We use hands a lot. And at the very beginning, when I started working with people coming from abroad, I had the tendency to use them as well. And then I realized that they were not working. It was
real funny.
That's why.
Do you have any examples
of signs?
Yeah, like something that would be at least Italian. And I want to learn Italian underwater diving language.
Underwater Italian diving language. Let's see. Well, let me think.
Right.
Because there are many, but I don't want to say anything that it's not really polite.
Right. That's like, okay, maybe not. I know when I have things that are broken, I'm like, oh, it's broken like this versus what I do when I'm with, my dive partners. It's a little bit different than like very polite. It's broken. I'd be like, it doesn't work, Oh,
but we got something. There is actually a funny one for me. I'm not sure we're going to translate that, but it was like my first dive with a person that I now know really, really well. And he's a professional diver, really amazing person. And during that dive, he made this kind of signs saying like this.
Oh. Like I'm
that
cold.
That was complicated. I was looking at this person like, what are you trying to say? And he repeat the gestures. And honestly, I only got my answer once outside of the water. And now this has become like some sort of joke in our group of friends. Because of course it was referring to being cold, but with a lot of Italian words after that were not really like a happy person.
Right. I'm ready to get out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, but the literal translation would be difficult to get. But it was, that fun moment when you say, I don't really think this is a standard sign. I get the cold, but not the rest.
That's funny. I know at least when we were working, we'd be like, that person is mad, like frowns.
No, I wouldn't get this one.
No.
But we could say if you're really lucky, I mean, you spot something that is unusual. I could say you like this. And it basically means you're lucky, but we say you're having like a lot of amount of luck. But again, in a way, there is like not really for a teaching lesson. It's more like
it's very fun environment. Jazz hands. So it is interesting because if you have people from around the world or a lot of tourists and whatnot, you definitely have to learn how to communicate. And people would think like, oh yeah, scuba has universal language. I was like, no, there's still like idioms that people do and other people do in different places. So it's a lot of fun sometimes, I think,
It's really nice. And like a couple of years ago at this point, I was asked to join the skill camp in Sweden. And we were organizing a small workshop about different things. And they asked me what I wanted, if there was something that I was suggesting. I said, well, why don't we do something about communication? And it turned out to be so interesting. Because the guys were just coming out of the water saying, oh my God, I didn't think it could be so difficult to communicate something so simple. And yet it was happening. Wow. And we were not having, discussion about everyday life topics. We were dealing with diving issues.
Right.
And it was really fun for all of them. So all the levels from the open water to the CCR diver, they all went away with a few more tricks to make communication better at that point.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah. That, people were really struggling with it. It's like, oh, it's just like, I know oftentimes that if I'm wearing a full face mask, I'll just yell and you can hear me. And then oftentimes, even with just a regulator or the breathing loop, you can talk pretty clearly. If you kind of learn the scuba ease, you can kind of yell and just talk or whatnot. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, here is where the rebreather helps a lot, because with the loops you can actually talk more. But the thing is that when you add maybe a foreign language to that, it's not going to be that easy. It's not easy in your own language sometimes, even when you know the person. And we all know that there are buddies with which we have no problem communicating.
Right.
You can just look each other in the eyes and the message will get through. Yeah. And others you could dive with for years and still you may have difficulties communicating. So
that's fun.
That's really nice to work on, especially during this time where on dry land we cannot get underwater. Work on that. Work on something like that.
So that's an interesting thing. Talking about kind of communication and working on things. Oftentimes we find people, when they basically reach a certain level and they stay where they are, they really don't continue education. They don't continue their learning process. What do you have to say about that? About kind of learning how to communicate, keep refining your skills?
Well, the thing is that I'm not, of course, there is a part that is due to the personal character and personal interest in getting better at something, in studying more about something. But on the other side, I do think it's up to the instructors and guides, dive master, whoever is a leading figure to push people to learn more, to show them how important it is. And this could be done with, just webinars like we are doing right now, or just having a talk with each other, showing them books, showing them videos, telling them stories about what happened to you and what a certain skill that you learned or you improved was different in that situation, why it was important for it to be different. So you just push them to get better. Right. And we know that you're not going from 0 to hero in a short distance. So let's not talk about hero anyway. Let's say we are not going from 1 to 10. Okay, you will need to get through 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So if you set yourself for smaller steps, it's going to get easier to go through the ladder. So just improve little by little in different fields will make you a better diver.
Right. Great words. Yeah, that's and I imagine that's I always say that as role models and as dive leaders and people people that others that we influence, is that it's so important to not set, like you said, 0 to hero, 1 to 10, but just incrementally better every day. If you focus on being better at one little thing, then over time it'll pay off in dividends.
Absolutely. And we were discussing about this a few days ago during a panel with Jill, with Michael, Richie, and the others about what we were hoping for the future of diving, of technical diving. And again, one thing that I said was that I would like more passion to come back, because nowadays we get a lot of situations where ego is the main factor that is driving the progression on the path. Like, because people see amazing pictures and movies on social medias, on TV, and they say, I want to go there, I want to be there too. But we know it takes a lot sometimes. We see the result, but what brought the divers over there in a safety way was a lot of work on the back end. Right. So it's what I think is that the passion is what genuinely drives you to get better. And this is what I hope for everyone. I mean, do it because you like it, because you want to do it, not because someone else is watching you or because you want to post the pictures on Facebook. I got people sometimes asking me if I'm not diving these days, or have you not been diving this month? And yes, I was. Oh, but you haven't posted anything. Well, that's not the reason I dive for.
Right.
It's not a post picture. So
exactly.
This is another thing that is nice to do. share the passion and the messages and everything, but it's not why we dive. At least not me.
Well, exactly. And, I talked about this yesterday with Jill, is that, there's a lot of pressure that to constantly be better, dive deeper, dive farther, dive longer, and, it could cause us to push ourselves a little too far and cause problems. But like you said about the passion, that you really need to do it because you love it, because otherwise you're going to be working every weekend, like you were saying in the dive center, and you get burned out. And so if you're teaching a basic open water class every day, you get tired of it. And you're like, you know what, I'm going to take a break from diving. I'm going to go hiking. Maybe you need to take a break, but also you're staying the same, even though you're teaching. Maybe focus. You could go to technical diving, or focus on photography, or focus on something else within diving that could help you from getting burnt out, from getting too hard, going too far, because the passion is what really will push you to have that drive to work every weekend. And so, because it's tough work.
It's true. And I think this is one of the great things about diving, that you have so many topics that are linked to this activity, that my question is, how can you really get bored about diving?
Yeah.
I mean, even if you just change place, you go from freshwater to salty waters, or from open environment to overhead environment.
Right.
And then you got biology, you got geology, archaeology, you got physiology, you got medicine, you got technology because of all the equipment, you got history.
Right.
You have so many things that you can link to this activity. It doesn't mean that you need to get better just by going deeper or staying underwater longer. That's not the point.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just choose your own path depending on what your personal preferences are.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then again, setting small goals here and there, I think it's the way to go. And what I usually do is setting one goal that is far ahead, like a place where I want to go, or an experience that I want to do. And then just leave it there, but putting all the smaller goals before that to progress and get ready for when the occasion will arise to go to that place. And if it doesn't happen, whatever, I got better in the end, and I got more experience and more stories to tell.
Exactly. Yeah, that's great advice. Shoot, aim for the stars, and if you aim a little low, if you hit a little low, you're still going to hit the moon. So it's it's that upward progression, that it may not be perfect, but you're still going up. Or may not be exactly where you want to go, and that's really good advice on that. And you talked a little bit about biology. You're also a voice for conservation and sustainability. Do you have, tell us a little bit about your background on that?
Well, actually, this is pretty simple to answer, because I started diving before starting university.
Uh-huh.
So for me, the passion started before. I always loved nature and the animal kingdom. And so it was pretty easy for me to get interested in what I was seeing underwater. And the thing was that I wanted to understand and to be able to find more. So when I finished my high school, the decision was pretty simple. I was still a little bit undecided between marine biology and, honestly, hyperbaric medicine, because they were the two things that really got me. But in the end, I was, okay, I'll go with this one. And after that, it was all a role. I don't know how to describe it. It was getting better and better, more interesting, because I could get things from the environment, from the dives, that I couldn't have got otherwise.
Right.
So it was something that was fueling itself. The more I was diving, the more I was studying, the more I wanted to do that. And the only thing was that at the very end, I realized that I'm not a lab person. I can do that. It would be fine once in a while, but I'm not a lab person.
Right.
I prefer, getting dirty on the field and to get data, to the experience, pictures, whatever is needed at that point. But doing we call them sometimes the dirty work.
Yeah, and that's something you and I both have in common, because I studied marine biology in school and even my master's marine science, and it was just, I definitely appreciate being a field person as the same, just like you, and being out in the field, collecting the data, getting everything, and that's something with diving that can be integrated so well. And like you were saying, the passion was lighting itself. Right. And that's when you find something that you really find a draw for, you'll work more, you'll want to do it more. And so that it rejuvenates itself. And so
it is. And for myself, the thing was also that I really wanted to go and dive in certain kind of environments when I was at the university. And so when I was doing my thesis, both the first one and the second one, they were focused on the polar regions. And then, life changed, and sometimes you need to make other decisions. Yeah. But so it was not possible for me to get a direct experience over there at the time. And so I said, okay, I'm going to get it in some other ways.
Right.
And one of the ways was something that was not colliding, was going along well with other passion that I had. And so the Italian Navy got, they always got divers in the polar regions for research. I can get there through the Navy.
Yeah.
So not only that, I could do a lot of other things with the Navy. So I decided to try to join. And so I did all my tests and all the exams, everything. I trained for the whole year. And after the master degree, I immediately took the test to join the Navy. And everything went well. I was waiting for the call, and then the whole thing got canceled.
No.
Yeah. And it was, okay, I cannot get there with the university. I cannot get there with the Navy. I'll do it myself somehow. Right. And that just started a whole series of experience and trainings that I went through within the years that has not stopped yet. And then even if the goal has changed, has shifted a little bit, it's still something that is driving my way of dealing with diving. Always get ready for more experience, get ready for a different environment. So something that is not necessarily more challenging, but interesting for me. And if challenge happens, just be ready for them.
Right.
At your best.
That's funny. I think we got to go with Becky down to the Antarctic, or Jeff Bazanik.
We do. Yeah. We do. Becky knows that we want to.
Right. So I'll be sure that we need to get on the boat for that. That's doing work like that. You have to find so many ways to make it work, because it's very difficult, very expensive, and it's very tough. And so, like it sounds like you were doing an exceptional job at, like, all right, if I can't go this way, I'm going to try this way. I'll try this way. And, just like life, things happen. And so, but the trick is to not quit.
Yeah. I think that's exactly the good thing to say, not quit. It doesn't matter if you need to change the path, if you need to find other solution. Everything will bring you something back in the end. So you just put all of them together and keep swaying through the difficulties of life.
Right. Exactly. And it really is, you just have to endure, because it'll be in every aspect of life. And so, especially with things that you're passionate about, not every day is good. Sometimes things don't work out, but if you don't quit, you got to play the long game.
You do. And you will face difficulties. You will face times when you just look at yourself in the mirror and say, is this really right? Am I doing the good things, the right things? But we all got those moments. And if you don't quit, if you keep trying, something will come back. Right. It doesn't necessarily mean that you will reach your final goal, whatever it is. but still you can get a lot back from there. And you will make sacrifice for that. So you may, I had a lot of interested that I just left at some point because they were, let's say, getting in the way because of time, because of money, because of focusing and everything else. I just decided to keep focusing on the diving.
Right. Great words on that, because that's exactly, how it goes and stuff, especially turning your passion into your profession. I don't know how often, if you ever encounter this, but it's I find that a lot of people that they really want to turn their passion into the profession of diving, and they want to know how to start getting involved. And I tell everybody, it's like, well, it's just start working from the bottom. Start working with dive shops. Do you have any advice for maybe a young instructor or someone that aspires to be an instructor? What would you tell them?
That's a good question. Because again, in life, we know you need luck. Sometimes you just need to be at the right place at the right time with the right people. But if you don't look for it, if you don't keep trying, if you don't keep being at the right places, maybe not at the right time many times, but you need to try. So you need to be ready for when the chance happens. So just, again, I would say do it with the most honest passion that you can have, and keeps working on yourself, gets better at different things, or decide if you are really focused on one field, just do whatever you can to get more experience in that field. But do not forget that we need the basis to be really, really strong. So what we were saying, working in a diving center for me had been an amazing base with all the experience that I got. And I would suggest that to almost anyone, if they want to go through this field, through this path for making diving their professional career, just try. Get tired, get to know so many people, and then be passionate about it. Contact people, ask people. Social medias are giving us such a great way to contact persons now. I remember when I started, there were the first really mailing list going on when I was young. And it was so difficult sometimes to get contact with someone else. So I was reading about Jill. I was reading about reaching, and all these people that for me were just names on the paper, but like huge names. I want to become like that. I want to do the stuff that they do. And then I started getting out of my comfort zone, just trying new things. And at some point I met new people, and these new people knew other people, and the things just was a chain that led me to decide to look over the national borders, so over the Italian borders for diving, and then just happened at some point to be in USA or UK and meeting these amazing people at the diving shows, and the rest is history. I mean, I would just say be passionate. Work on yourself and try to attend the right environment for kind of activity.
Right, exactly. I tell everybody the first step is to show up. You need to be there, be there, be everywhere. If you're the kind of person that they see you every day, it doesn't matter where you are. If you're at the dive site all the time, people will get to know you. People, the diving community, as cliquey as it can be, it's still pretty. I think it's pretty open and whatnot, and it's even getting better. Like maybe online on the internet, they can act a little silly, but in person at dive sites, you start talking to people. Most people are very welcoming. And then especially if you kind of convey that, instructors and technical divers, the best they can do is be a good role model. A good role model will open up to new divers and tell them, like, hey, it was like, what are you doing today? Oh, you're just doing a little single tank dive here at 20 feet. Well, that's awesome. It's like, ask about the equipment, you talk about everything, but that's how you get to know, by showing up.
That's true. And just be ready to do, I mean, I'm not saying to do anything, but to help with anything.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
even
Always
if
be willing to carry tanks.
yeah, I carried so many tanks just for friends. Even now, if we are at the lake and I finished the dive, and they just got out and they are tired, I can bring you the bailout out because we
Yeah.
got the stairs, unfortunately. So it's just be yourself and enjoy what you're doing, whatever aspect it is. And as you say, sometimes it's just a matter of asking. I don't think anyone will tell you, oh, I don't have time for that, or I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm not going to share my secrets.
And you don't even want to be around those kind of people.
Hmm?
You don't even want to be around those kind of people.
No.
Yeah. So take it as a cheap lesson.
Yeah. But I think I've been super lucky because I would say 99% of the people that I met, of the divers that I met, are just amazing people. And they do it because they like it and they have fun. So it's not this urge to show something. It's just we like what we do and we want to do it in the best way possible.
Exactly. And it's, I always encourage people to read, like you say, you were reading these names, read the history of it and learn about the stories of people that are diving, and then go to where they're diving. I was lucky. I would drive from Texas to get to Florida just to be in this iconic cave country where I would go see, Cave Adventurers or Ginny Springs, these places that you read about, and you got to go to it, make the investment and make it a priority to go to these places, and you'll see people there, it's, and I was lucky to be able to get to cave country, even though it's, 15-hour drive. And so that's where that passion comes from. It'll drive you to drive across the country just to go look at a dive shop.
It is. And traveling, I mean, it's one of the things that I love the most. So it doesn't matter if I need to drive for, 2 days along. I went from here to the Orkneys to Scapa. I went by car many times.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's just, and you stop along the road for different things, or just going to the lot in France, and it doesn't matter if I'm driving alone. It's just, I want to do it, something I'm passionate about. And coming to Florida, the first time I came there, I just left my other job because I wanted to focus on diving only. And I saved money for that trip for, I think 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And I just stayed over there for 40 days.
Wow.
And I did my class with Jill because that was my main goal that time. And it was amazing. And after that, I enjoyed the whole country so much. And every day was like, today I want to see these things and these things and these things. So I was saving on anything, food, accommodation, it didn't matter. I just wanted to do things. And it was a mind-blowing experience for me.
Right.
I mean, it's just amazing because we, as you say, learn about the history of diving, but also learn that we got different histories. Each country got its own and things they are focused on, and traditional tricks that they use because of the different kind of environments. And it's so nice to learn about one kind of environment from people that live that environment every day. So it's just so rewarding from that point of view.
Rewarding. That's where all that hard work, it'll pay off at the end, in terms of the reward, and you do feel fulfilled in it. And so that's so important. And it's not, I always joke that we're in the diving industry for fame and fortune, but we're only well known amongst other divers. And then, and so and all our money goes to dive gear. So, but it's still the relationships, the community, it's worth its weight in gold.
It is. And it's, the great thing about this community is also that it can do amazing thing. Because when there is something important where the help of each one is needed, where the help of the whole community is needed, it can achieve amazing things. And that is still like mind-blowing for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly. We all support each other, even in the woods in North Florida, or the jungles in South America. I mean, we get each other's back. So, and that's a big part of it.
It is. And we know when you're underwater, you want people that you trust, or from many point of view. And so the thing that we can we can get together outside of the water. It's not something that is strictly work related. It's not like, okay, we're diving together at work hours and then each one on his own. We got this community where after diving, we still stay together and have fun together and share memories and just having fun and sharing knowledge. And so it's amazing from my point of view. It gives you so much, because at that point, your work colleague becomes your friend as well, and sometimes even closer friends. So they really get like a family in the end, and a really big family that cross the bridges and the oceans and goes all around. It's something that I'm missing so much nowadays, not being able to catch up with all of you around the world, actually.
Yeah, it has been hard. I mean, even with the shows and whatnot, because there's a big community aspect of it, and so it's been interesting. So, well,
at least we're doing something with the webinars, so still you're helping a little bit.
I think we've done I've done over 50 live streams and videos and whatnot in the last year. And so we're trying to get a little bit better every time. I don't know if you can tell I have a better camera. So, but
yeah, I noticed that.
I know. I have to shave every day now. It's definitely something that we don't expect, but one of the strengths I think for divers is that we can adapt. And so we've just been able to adapt and learn how to pivot, when life throws us curveballs.
Well, you're right. We adapt. And the thing is that technology is helping so much on that. And so we're every day you get something you can follow if you want. We had been organizing webinars each week for a couple of months now. And it's also, it's tiring. It's a job, because you want to find the right people to organize the chat, and then sometimes to translate, to give feedbacks, and it's a lot of work. But it's so nice and so rewarding when you get the feedbacks from people that have enjoyed it. And now we took a small pause and then we will start again. And you receive these messages saying, "Please do not stop. Please start over." And it's amazing. It's really amazing, especially when you receive the enthusiasm back. It's, that you're doing the right thing at that point.
Exactly. Yeah. That's great. Great points on that. All right. Well, so to kind of close out, do you, so I ask, I'll start that again. So for kind of the last question, one more. So on the last question, what advice would you give to 16-year-old Beatrice in order to follow the road and the path that you went in your life? And it's not over yet, right? The best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come. That's true. But I don't think I would change any big things that I've done up to now. Maybe some small things, but not the main track. So I would just say, keep doing what you want to do, what you are doing already, because just follow your passion and be serious about it. That would be the main one. Do not get upset. Just keep trying. Keep trying. That is because, sometimes people say it's easy to say keep trying, but you will face difficulties and as you said, curveballs. It will happen, but it happens in every aspect of life. So just face them with the same energy, and sometimes get angry about them. It's right. It's not wrong. Yeah. So just keep trying, keep going, and enjoy the process.
Great words. Yeah, it's okay to get mad. I like how you added that. It's okay to get frustrated. Express
It
yourself,
is.
but don't quit.
No, never. Don't quit, and do not stop bothering people, asking people about,
Yeah,
trying things and learning new stuff. And just sometimes we say, be put some kind of mask on your face and be bold about asking things. Just do not care. Go and ask.
exactly.
And
That's
it's
like the
amazing.
best
Sometimes
thing.
great things come from that.
I know personally, I've grown up very, very much like I don't ask anyone for anything. And that's such a crutch because I'll struggle, I'll do things the hard way because I don't ask. And it's so important to just ask, and don't be afraid of getting a no, or don't be afraid of getting rejected. Always just ask. The squeaky wheel gets the grease for a reason.
It's true. And the thing I would say is just, again, as I said before, ask seriously. So do not make people waste their time. Do not ask things as a joke. If you want help, serious help, because you're focusing on something important, it's one thing. Do not just, again, make people waste time because it's something that you say, oh, that would be nice to post a picture of it. Well, wait a second. Is there a real meaning behind that? Or it's not wrong to just have fun, but if you want to go through these, just be serious. And that would be the main thing that I would say. Serious, but not trying to impress anyone, except just working for yourself from that point.
Right. Be serious about your passion, but don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, we need to enjoy the process anyway.
Exactly.
We're not as serious as we appear sometimes, or as we would like to appear.
Right.
Because
we're just stern. We follow the rules, but we have fun. Right. It's not about where you're going. It's not about where you're going. It's the path to get there. Right.
It is. If you take off the fun from the equation, something doesn't work. I mean, sometimes it works, but you cannot keep it for a long time. You will get tired after that. If you just go diving with the only purpose of teaching, of doing this, like in a what could be the word, like in a aseptic.
It's like a corporate job, right? Where I'm just teaching.
Yeah. An instructor that doesn't dive for fun, for his or her own enjoyment, is missing something from my point of view.
Yeah, exactly. It's not sustainable either.
You need to have both.
Right. Well, cool.
And you do that in a nice way, guys. You're always giving us these amazing webinars and interviews and talks, and there's always something new on the channel every week. That's great.
Yeah, and that's definitely, I did not know that Divesoft would become a television production company as well. And so we've definitely had to adapt on that and learn how to write scripts. But the good thing is it's been like a learning process, and it's such a great way to keep engaged with the audience, ambassadors, and our diving friends. And so we're hoping when we get back to normal that, it's like, all right, great. We didn't skip a beat,
It's true. But on the other side, sometimes I wonder, what will I think in 5 years time when I'll go back and maybe have a look at this video and listen to myself, and then we'll just think, oh my B, what have you been saying? What have you been telling people?
Exactly. I see my hair and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, they are like, again, witnesses of what's going on, what is happening right now.
Nothing's free.
Yeah, but we're finding the way to have fun and stay together anyway. And that's where diving is amazing at, just bringing people together and obtaining amazing results and a lot of fun.
Exactly. You have to look at the whole aspect. It's not just the time we spend underwater. Being underwater is only half of it.
No, and we know even in like professional jobs and professional projects, the more you work at your desk before, the more efficient you're going to be underwater. and probably spending less time underwater to get the same results. So the desk job is still needed, guys.
Yeah.
You cannot escape from that.
Yeah. You're never going to skip the desk. So might as well be happy at your desk too. So
exactly. But not only the desk, we need to keep trained as well.
Yeah, exactly. Got to be diving every day just for training.
Exactly. That would be amazing. Just having the water just outside of your porch and just waking up and go for a dive.
Oh, at NASA, we would average, on busy weeks, we'd be doing 30, 40 hours a week underwater. And so it's, that was.
You need a hand.
Yeah. What's his name? I just forgot his name. There's several Italian astronauts. So it's Sam's one of them, and Luca Parmitano. Yeah. He's a wonderful guy. So.
He is. There was a few months ago. He was basically on every channel. There was an interview with him, or a production about him, or that was involving him as a guest. It was all around the channels.
That's fun. Yeah, I used to go bike with him in Galveston on the seawall. So
you're a VIP now.
Right. That's fun.
You just hang out with the cool people.
Well, and these folks, they're normal people. Just like something that's really important that I like to talk about is that people that you see on these live streams, for just your audience, if you just got scuba certified and you just read Jill Heinert's book, you just saw Becky's photos, and these people, we're not crazy rock stars that are just like, you can't talk to them. It's like we're all regular people. We put our pants on one leg at a time, right? And it's never be afraid to say hello. Always be polite, and just you always reach out and say hi and say, I really enjoy your content, and everyone I know really appreciates that. And I chat with everyone that talks to me, because it's always like, oh, cool. I was like, hey, yeah, let's go dive together, And so I'm always looking for new dive buddies. It
is true. And I mean, we are a little bit crazy, not rock star.
You gotta take that.
But what you're saying is absolutely right. And again, I went from considering these people like the superheroes I was looking up to, and then we were in Singapore just drinking together at ADEX or in other sort of situation like this. And as you said, it's just amazing. Just be polite again and ask, and nobody will ever say no. If someone is busy with something else, they will, but not in a rude way. They will always have a word for you, or advice or tips if you want to.
And don't get between an instructor and the students. That's Mama Bear.
It's true. Well, it's, you just care about your students. So you want to give them the best service possible, the best of your time and of your knowledge. You want them to grow well. And to learn from what you've learned. Right.
So that's exactly it. Like I said, if we're in the middle of teaching and you want to come say hi, just wait till we're done briefing, and then, But,
that's about being polite and respect others' people's work. Because again, it may be a hobby for many people, but for most of us, it's a work.
Right.
So just respect that.
Exactly. Great. Well, great. Well, Bea, I had a wonderful time. It's we've been talking for almost an hour. I don't know how are you feeling?
Oh, really? No, I didn't notice that. Not at all.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So, well, I mean, I had a great time. I'll say a little closeout message, and then we'll end the recording, but we'll still talk a little afterwards. So, all right. Well, Bea, thank you so much for joining us today on Divesoft TV. We had a fantastic time, and I want to make sure everyone can reach out to you and ask you any questions. They can reach out to you on Facebook via Zero Emissions and whatnot. And so, follow Beatrice on her social media on Facebook and Instagram.
Thank you, Joe. It was a wonderful time, and it went so fast. So thank you so much, and I will be more than happy to receive any feedbacks or question or inquiries about diving in Italy. It's an amazing place to come and dive. So let's think about it.
Definitely. I'm dying to get out there. So great. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.